I said you better watch what you're doing, 'cause I ain't gonna stop when I'm moving. I'm headed to the top, I'ma do it. I'm headed to the top, I'ma prove it. And I could go all night, I'm sick of being nothing. All right, I'm gonna be something. All fight with every breath, trust me. I'ma be the one at the top, you can't touch me. I bleed with every word coming. I would rather die than be someone who's nothing. I'm the type of dude who will not remain nameless. I'm the type of dude who is headed for greatness. I'm the type of dude who could really make changes, 'cause I'm the type of dude that's becoming contagious. I'm the type of dude that will always be ageless. I'm the type of dude that will always feel shameless. I'm the type of dude that they say is fucking heinous, 'cause I'm the type of dude that you know is fucking dangerous.
You are absolutely right. The way he went about it was absolutely wrong. Like, so, like I said, I'm not
of my Jewish hatred that actually goes. Other than the fact that why are y'all popping out of the sewers in New York City?
Annunciation Catholic Church. You couldn't call it pronounced Catholic Church?
Yeah, pronounce the Catholic.
Get the red, blue, green, whatever you guys have.
What?
Get Idiot.
What?
Crazy, I swear to God.
What?
Well, you are crazy.
Why?
You were because why you yeah, one and one put smooches on people's faces. I'm gonna break your head, you piece of shit.
Why?
Because what you're laughing about? Huh?
What are they called?
Something, I don't know. Smooth.
What do you want to learn?
I want to learn to take a selfish. How do I do the filter, the picture? Faster!
Hi, everybody. I have messed up something, and I don't know what I messed up, but yeah.
Well, you were taking a selfish.
That lady is so fucking hilarious. That lady is hilarious. I think I'm live in Rumble. I'm pretty sure I am.
Well, if not, we're live on mine.
Well, good. Hi, everybody. As you can see, Rich is not here because he had a special assignment south of the border, and from what I heard, something he had to participate in a donkey party. I don't know. It's not my bag, baby, but Rich is what Rich is. Oh, it is coming over through Rumble. Okay, well, hope that's on the channel, but whatever. Hi, guys. Welcome. Today I have with me Life Liberty from the Life Liberty Show, and this commie, Chris Genie.
Yeah, definitely not a commie.
Yeah, definitely not. If not, you pretended to make other people feel like they were communists and then, brought it back around. Anyway, hi guys, how's it going? I don't know.
Going good. How about you, bud?
Good. Grandma's nuts, isn't she? Yes, she is.
Yeah.
How was she saying Gatorade? I was trying to figure that out.
She's like an old Italian lady. Let's see. Hold on. Let's go back to it and see.
The red, blue, green, whatever you guys have.
What?
Gatorade.
T. Porter.
I think Trump might. It's a Gatorade. Gatorade.
It's the greatest hydration drink on the planet. I mean, it's the best.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
It's huge.
But thank you for being here, gentlemen. We were discussing a little bit that I wanted to discuss today about Minnesota, and we all know what happened yesterday, don't we? Mr. Lamond decided that he was going to be, he's a reporter. He has to tell everybody he's a reporter, so you know that he's a reporter, because if you didn't know he was a reporter, he's a reporter, so he's not a part of
That's
not
the
a part of
weirdest sentence ever there, Simple. He said, if you didn't know he was a reporter, he's a reporter. But if it's like he's a reporter, he's like the greatest reporter on the planet.
I mean, he said it 914 times while he was sitting there talking to, being I'm a journalist. Meanwhile, he was with the people who were about to run into this church, yet, he was a journalist and he has to be bipartisan while he's sitting there telling ICE to go fuck themselves and calling everybody in that church a white supremacist.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
And
yeah, he really squeezed himself into this one.
What were you saying?
But
lemon.
So long, gay boys.
But this is Don. They're going to give you the after and then the before because he tells everybody he's just a journalist.
The MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true. So let me just make it clear because this assistant attorney general, I don't know, something Hammett, Dillon or whatever. So
Harmeet Dillon.
I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it, talk to the people who were involved, which included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization. That's it. It's called journalism. First Amendment, all that stuff. For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutist, there you go. So why don't you talk to the actual person who...
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is that fall under the First Amendment, the breaking into a church and harassing the people that are there?
All right, so we have to actually determine breaking in, right? If it was an open whatever, and the public is allowed to come in, it's not breaking in. But if he was disrupting it, they could say, get the hell out of my church. It's still private property, and you can be trespassed from private property, right? It's not, the First Amendment is something that the government can't censor. If you're on private property, they can say, don't talk anymore, get off my property. Like, it's not one of those things where, oh, there's a church, I have the right to be here. No, you don't.
Yeah, because the doors are open. Yeah, the doors are open. So you're supposed to be people who are, and that's another thing. They try to weaponize religion, and it's like it doesn't. If you're a weak person, it would, but I mean, this doesn't help your cause at all.
No, and this is a clear violation of these people's First Amendment rights. You do not have the right to disrupt church service or worship in any way on private property. This is well-established law. This has happened in the past. At a minimum, it should be trespassing, disorderly conduct, if not, more severe stuff. I think it should actually be severe because we're at a point where this crosses a huge line, and I think that these protesters are really trying to test the boundaries here on what they're actually able to get away with and not get away with. So they need to throw the hammer down on each and every one of these people. Maybe not Don Lemon, but I could definitely see the argument for it. How does he just suddenly happen to be in the part where he's going to follow them? Like he didn't get a tip or whatever. Sure, he may not be officially part of their activist chapter, but that doesn't mean he didn't get a tip or something like that.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say hello to the chat, which we normally do. What up, Ken? What up, Rich? Jennifer, how are you, darling? Ken, what is up? Jennifer's on Rumble side also. Zach, what up, bruh? Let's see who else. Jennifer, oh, good evening. How are you tonight, Jen? Fuck Don. Fuck. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to. What up, Spuds?
Well, I mean, it may be okay. His asshole may be big enough that it's not that big a deal.
It's a cave inside of a cave. You want to go
Hello.
But yeah, so I was watching the video earlier today while I was streaming And yeah, no, Don Lemon just parked in the back of this church and then went inside. Nobody was around him. He was in there for about 5 minutes with nothing, and then all of a sudden you heard him. But he continues.
Is in charge of the organization and whose idea it was to have the protest at the church before you start blaming me for stuff for which you have no idea. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
And we all have the address, right?
Yes.
Everybody has the address?
So they're getting the operation together. Again, this is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. That is what I can say. I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But there we go.
So he knew. And he was a part of the group.
And it conveniently is on Don Lemon Live. And he says, go give some airtime to the guy who's in charge of the group. You know, this is some classic PSYOP stuff right here.
You think it's PSYOP?
It's one of the tactics for sure. I mean, all of these activist groups on the left operate off of, color revolution playbooks that heavily involve PSYOPs.
As in, what do you mean, like color revolution? Like, because I've heard of that. I've heard of it a lot, especially lately. Pertaining to Minnesota and everything like that. And people are saying that people are having a color revolution, and I don't fully grasp on what that means.
Yeah, so we've done this in many, many countries over the last several decades. Is we will go over to another country. USAID was a huge part of this, where we will kind of recruit local people to be activists and agitators and partisan protesters and stuff. And then basically foment these riots or protests. We fund them, we give them the signs, we give them the chants. And oftentimes these turn violent or have some sort of violent pretext, agitating stuff on to try to overthrow the government or have some sort of policy change that would be more favorable to the U.S. So a lot of the stuff we've done internationally and overseas now is being done here domestically. And it's a lot of the same NGOs, donors and stuff like that have fomented these coups and color revolutions overseas. So most famous recently would be like in Ukraine in 2014, the Maidan protests. We've tried it in Venezuela too during the first Trump administration.
Did we really?
Yeah, anytime you
we've
see
been everywhere.
USAID in the past, that's your clear signal that this is some sort of CIA State Department operation.
Ukraine was a perfect example. We did it under Obama via Vicky Donut Newland.
Yeah, Victoria Nuland.
She says J6.
I think J6 was a little different, but
In what way?
I don't think J6 was organized with the intent of being a color revolution. I think it may have been co-opted to incite more violence for other reasons, but I don't think it was like originally organized that way. Like here you see, right, they're all in the parking lot. They have their signs. They have the address. They have the plan. When they go into the church, which I'm sure you'll, show later on, is like they have chants mapped out and stuff. Like J6, I mean, there were 1 million people there that day, so it's not quite the same.
I agree. I think J6 wouldn't have gone to the point that it's gone without the confirmed government agents that were there that actually stirred it up, that were dressed as civilians. And it just wouldn't have gone that far.
Yeah, and it is worth noting. So, like, right, I'm a psychological operations specialist in a past life with the U.S. Army. We actually had CNN come in and train us, not me personally, but yeah, some of our PSYOP units at Fort Bragg were trained by CNN on how to film things, how to take pictures, how to conduct, influence operations and active measures and stuff. So. Yeah. Who is Don Lemon with? I don't know if he's still with him, but historically CNN.
So yeah, so Don Lemon already knows what he's doing. He's already been trained in all this.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Huh. But go ahead.
No, I'm still flabbergasted on the idea that a private business that has nothing to do with government operations come in and taught government how to basically get false information to them so that it fits their narrative.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what I'm describing was, 20 plus years ago. So I served 03 to 07. So kind of the heart of when Iraq and all of that.
I did as well.
popped
Yeah.
off. Yeah. So we had PSYOP guys later on that got embedded into local news stations to learn how they do production and stuff like that. Because the PSYOP units, they have a battalion of people that do just media. So they have illustrators, video editors, all of that stuff. So they're really learning from CNN how to do professional productions and stuff. So yeah, it wasn't us teaching them; it was them teaching us.
I like how you had to think about what I can and what I can't say while you were talking. You're like, yep, that's the line. Okay.
All this stuff is public information. You can, Google it.
But yeah, so we were saying before, the Don Lemon went into the church, and you can see him. He's by himself. This is from his own live 6.5-hour feed that he did.
I guess. You can stand on the sidewalk. You can come over. Just don't go on the property. Okay, so we're going inside. Definitely trolls in the chat.
So
okay.
You see nobody, right?
Right, but he also said don't trespass, don't go on the property.
Yeah. Okay.
Know that? We don't mind the trolls. Just trolls get rolled.
Trolls get rolled. It's a Lemon saying.
Passenger 57 is what it is.
So they're trying to get rid of passenger 57 now.
Sidewalk.
No, he said always bet on black, and the guy who holding the camera goes, "Where did what movie was that from?" He goes, "A casino movie, a movie about a casino," and then he goes, "It wasn't Casino," and then he's literally on his phone looking it up and goes, "Oh yeah, Passenger 57, that's the movie."
Oh.
Here. Or if you want to come over, I think you could probably come where the van is.
So he keeps him there, and then he goes in by himself. Now you can hear. It's quiet. There's nothing. It's just him. Well, and in the church.
I wouldn't call that quiet.
Well, that's the pastor talking.
Yeah, you're hearing the church service.
Yeah.
But then
Hey, meta record.
yeah, she got up, or whatever the woman was, and they just started. So they're claiming that the pastor is a director of ICE.
Who cares?
Surrounded the church.
So they are disrupting the church service because the pastor is a director for the local ICE agency. By the way, this is what nobody's reporting. The true crime over here. Watch these young girls. Ah, shit. Watch the side right at this red door. Whoop, whoop.
Good catch.
I was watching in the corner of my eye, just seen something. And I go, "The fuck is that?" And then you just watch it. The first time 2 go down, and then 1 goes down, and then they try to get up, and then goes back down again.
Clearly not from Minnesota.
Here in the city and area.
And yoink! She takes the girl out with her. The other one comes.
So there's people leaving the service from fear.
Yes. Yes, there are people.
That's quite literally disrupting a fucking religious service. I can't believe I just said a cuss word and religious at the same time. But I mean, everybody's saying it, the FACE Act, you're not allowed to go in and disrupt on private property a religious service.
He said he met with the pastors in the parking lot beforehand to be briefed. Who did? Don?
Protesters.
Oh, the protest. Oh, he met. Oh, Don met with the protesters in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Before. Okay. But yeah, so now you have people, and now all of a sudden it's okay to film. And you heard him tell his glasses, whatever the fucking Meta film. So he went in there and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, this is a little bit of insight on how this would be going on. Let's say if it was a regular CNN clip, right? He's live streaming the whole thing, which is the parts you never get to see. So now you see, okay, wait outside. I'm going to go in,
Yeah, it's orchestrated. So him telling everybody, I'm just a journalist. I'm here because he says it while he's talking to these people. And I'll give you one of the guys that he spoke with as they were leaving.
Yeah, but okay, so why would they have acted like this? Did he go and get up on top of the freaking pulpit and grab the microphone and be like, I'm just a journalist?
No, so okay, I'll go back to this then real quick. He was just in there.
That's a really dark church.
Well, his camera, look, they've got low bit rate. The whole time it was low bit rate. So some of the stuff that you saw was because his.
All right, I get it now.
But yeah, so they were just in there, just disrupting everybody, and he's trying to get whatever, there they are all over the place. And, there's people that are angry. There are people that are upset, that's pissed off and scared. Kids are scared for their lives. And, he's talking to this guy because this was the last guy he talked to before everybody started leaving out.
These people have come into our house and they've interrupted our worship. This is a house of peace, and we try to proclaim that. And this stirs division and rancor. And in the end, it's not helpful. Ultimately, I believe they've lost. They've emptied a house of worship. Everybody's gone home. Their point has been proven worthless. And so, in the end, I think they lose. But more importantly, if I was to break into any of their houses uninvited, cause derision and...
Rich, I gave you the thing. Just come on.
According to their values, I would be kicked out ultimately. It's not a good way. I feel violated. I feel interrupted. I feel angry.
May I ask you something?
Yeah, that is
You were
fair.
saying if you had showed up at their house, they're saying that people are showing up at houses where they're citizens without due process and breaking and entering the house. One that we saw, I've been watching from New York, with a battering ram into someone's private property.
You know why they entered in with a battering ram?
Because it was locked.
Well, that, and they were surrounded by over 100 people. It was that video you saw where they were chanting outside the house, and the people had to use a battering. The ICE agents had to use a battering ram to get in because, the hundreds of people behind them were making them feel kind of a little way. So, extract and get out. But don't leave that to them to just be like, well, they were using battering rams. They're just so ICE agents are walking around going and battering people's houses.
I would agree with B job secure down there, that this is domestic terrorism. You're using fear to push a political ideology.
What up, Penguin?
This is domestic terrorism going into their place of worship. I mean, normally they say it's explosions and, things like that.
No, terrorism is anything that makes you fear the way you live your life. Is basically, isn't it?
I think terrorism is using violence to achieve a political goal.
Yeah.
I think the key part there is violence.
I think so too.
Or some sort of force or threat of the use of force, which here in this instance, I don't see the threat of force or violence, but this is disruptive, which is a violation of the First Amendment. You cannot use your First Amendment rights to prevent others from exercising theirs,
Okay,
especially for religious services.
Terrorism is generally defined as the unlawful use of violence or threats of violence against people or property to intimidate or coerce a government, population, or society to achieve political, ideological, religious, or social goals, often creating a widespread fear and influencing an audience beyond immediate victims.
Yeah, so violence or the threat of violence, which I think would be a stretch to say that occurred here.
I would agree. I would say that violence or a threat of, yeah.
Jennifer O said it first. Sorry, guys.
Which I think is also the standard for the FACE Act as well.
Yeah.
What's it? So I heard about that today, but it doesn't seem like, because the FACE Act is about is abortions. They said that the FACE Act had to do with abortions, and I was like, wait a minute, how is that? How does that coincide?
Okay, it says the FACE Act, Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act of 1994, is the U.S. federal law making it illegal to use force, threats, or physical obstruction to prevent people from obtaining or providing reproductive health services or exercising religious freedom at places of worship. It covers interfering with patients, providers, and damaging facilities, allowing for both criminal prosecution and civil lawsuits. The law is controversial, with supporters seeing it as a crucial protection for clinic access, while opponents argue it stifles free speech and peaceful protest, leading to recent debates and attempts to repeal it. But it does say, or exercising religious freedom at places of worship.
Yeah, it's inclusive of religious worship, and then also includes physical obstruction, not just violence or threat of violence. So in the case of like an abortion clinic, you can't have like a line of people preventing somebody from trying to access the clinic.
A body chain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I see. So I guess I see that with the church. I mean, they're so. Do you don't think Don Lemon or anybody's going to face any of that? Because this woman was also she's a lawyer. The woman who headed all this, that lady that you saw, whatchamacallit? She's a lawyer. She was a president of the BLM or the NAACP chapter in Minnesota. BLM movement lady. Like, I
think the problem here is that they entered the facility, right? If they just stood outside chanting, doing whatever they wanted to do, it'd have been okay. If they didn't stop somebody from going into the church, didn't, hold them in there. They entered in private property, and then everybody else got scared and left.
Yeah. If they stayed on the sidewalk or across the street protesting, because this happened a lot with that Westboro Baptist Church back in the day, with a lot of people protesting them and stuff. But it becomes when you enter onto the property, which may include the parking lot or the grassy area.
The grassy knoll.
Yeah, the grassy knoll.
No, I agree. This, like, the fact of them entering private property, I mean, they can't just, let's say my house is my church because I can have service at my house. Can they just enter my house because it's open to the public because I'm having service?
Can they not?
It's private property. They still have to be welcomed. Like if you come through my front door and I go, hey, can't sit here, then they have to leave. And that's kind of the same thing at that church. If the people say, can't sit here, then you got to fucking leave.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, every person that was part of that protest should get charged. I think it's be hard to say Don Lemon should. I think he probably should be, but I think it's gonna be hard to make that case because he is technically a member of the media.
Do you think, I don't know, but do members of the media get the option to cross onto private property uninvited?
I don't know how it would play out here. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so
I know,
but
so you don't know.
No, I have no idea, and I have no opinions on it. I would say that since he is part of the media, let's say it wasn't Don Lemon and somebody else that I
did he have a press
in the media,
pass on?
Right? Yeah, and maybe somebody like that shares my ideology that goes to these protests and stuff. I would say, you know, if it was like Nick Soder or somebody like that, and he was following in and recording it, I don't think he should be charged with anything. But then it's what was his level of involvement in there, and an investigation would have to take place, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that the press has the right to go in there and sit back and be quiet and have the camera if the person that owns the private property says it's okay. It's not a courtroom. It's not public property. It's not, right? All of this comes down to the property owner if you have access to it. And it's the same thing at Walmart, by the way. It's private property. If they say, get off my property, you have to go.
Yeah.
That's true. You can still break the law even as a journalist. You know?
You can, and that's where I'm trying to figure out where is that line. You know, does the press have the ability to go in and follow these people in to record it? Or is that a space like you're saying, Liberty, where no, like you're not able to do that either? So I don't know. I don't know where that line is. I guess we'll find out. But I'm not optimistic that he would be charged.
But here's the thing, like, so who's credentialed press nowadays? Because anybody could say they're press.
But yes, by the First Amendment, everybody has the freedom of press.
Yeah. So once again, you have these activists going into churches or whatnot now, I guess, or going into businesses wherever, and just saying that they're part of the press instead of oh, I'm not with them. I'm not with them. This whole I'm not with them thing. You know, everybody's with them until they're not with them. You know what I mean? Because it just so fucking happens that every single time they're just like, well, who's Antifa? I'm not Antifa. Meanwhile, these idiots have fucking tattoos and pictures with them all through with Antifa shit, which, you know, I'm still waiting for somebody to do something about something because apparently they're now an international terroristic organization and nothing. We have nothing to show for it. We're not taking any of these people in. Like, what are we going to do?
All right. So what I'm reading, courts recognize worshipers have a reasonable expectation of religious exercise without intrusion. Filming inside worship services without consent can raise privacy and religious freedom concerns. This is especially true if children are present, congregants are identifiable, the recording amplifies disruption. I think all three of those get checked.
Yeah.
In this case.
Mediahelpingmedia.org. Ethics. This is what journalists are supposed to go by. Journalists have a right and a duty to investigate stories in the public interest, but they must not consider themselves to be beyond the law.
The press cannot lawfully create or prolong a rights violation to document it. So one could argue that the presence of Don Lemon prolonged the violation that was occurring.
That's going to be fucking interesting to see. But Harvey Dillon already said she's not going to. This is his warning. This is his warning. Don't do that, or else we'll give you another warning. Don't do it again. Because
gotta have your name three times, a name on the chalkboard with 3 check marks before you miss recess.
Yeah,
right?
it's so stupid. It's like, once again, the Giuliani was right. It's the broken windows theory. Jennifer says he repeatedly tried to continue interviewing the pastor and the member after being told that they were done with interviews while he was still in the building. And the press doesn't get special pass for anything other than a literal special pass. But he kept on also saying that it's people are exercising their constitutional right. Constitutional right. Just kept on going about constitutional right.
Well, we know these people are idiots. They don't know what the words mean that they're saying.
Well, here, let me show you. See if I can get at this one.
So I'm just going to be as respectful as possible. I'm not here to intimidate anybody. Just here to chronicle and to get some answers and let people know what they've done. They pumped the music up really, really loud. Here you heard the pastor. Some folks are praying back there. Do you see the guy with his arms stretched up?
No, the guy with his arms stretched up is going, what the fuck is going on here? The guy in the back is like, why the fuck are you people here? I'm sorry, Lord. Get the fuck out. I'm sorry, Lord. That's what he's doing in the background. But yeah, Don's just there to chronicle everything that's going on.
And he's just saying that to cover his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
There's evidence that he was in collusion with the people going there, telling everybody it's a secret.
And they're praying. But by the way, just so you know, this is what you get with independent journalism that you will not get with corporate media. I'm just here to tell you. So if you're in the chat, if you're with us, support us. Like and subscribe, become a member, support independent journalism, because we do it without fear or favor. I'm not afraid to do this. Like I told you, it's going to be raw.
Of course you're not afraid to do this. Because you're on the side of the people who are committing violence.
Well, hopefully he's afraid the next time.
Well, I mean, he told Harmony Dillon to go shove it, and she did, apparently.
Unscripted.
What do you got, Liberty?
One of the lines here says, if we are asked to stop recording, taking photographs, or jotting down notes because of concern about privacy, we should do so unless it is editorially justified to continue. At that point, we need to be absolutely clear about our reasons. And by the way, this is on Media Helping Media, free training resources for journalists and managers. So this is the ethics of a journalist, right? Not us, the free press, but a journalist, which is what Don Lemon is claiming to be.
Yeah, and like I said, he says it multiple times in this thing, and apparently his journalistic integrity, like we've all known for years, is not.
We got stuck in the snow trying to get here, had to produce it in real time, go here. As soon as we walked in, almost perfect timing, the protesters stood up. And so what is interesting is that the protesters don't really like talking to corporate media that much. No. They like talking to independent media. And they tell us what they're going to do, and we just follow. Much as I did in the Capitol when Marjorie Taylor Greene got mad at me because I was there.
He doesn't even know why Marjorie Taylor Greene got mad at him. He has no idea. He has no when.
Look how he looks away.
He's trying to find an answer. He looks away. He's like, hey, you got an answer? Why was she mad at me again? I have no fucking idea. He then went to the other entrance and recorded families leaving, including children, without blurring faces or even commented on the father comforting it. Yeah, it was it's weird. He gets really fucking weird, like to the point where he's just going, "There's a father hugging his son." Thanks for the journalistic integrity, Don.
Because I was there. Doing journalism.
Because I was at the White House. Hey, Mama Jay. I was at the White House doing journalism, and Marjorie Taylor Greene got mad at me. Had nothing to do with my network and paying some dude that went and had a BLM protest the same day as January 6th. Nobody talks about that, though. Nobody talks about the fact that right before Trump's speech, they had a BLM protest that they were talking about, and the guy that was hosting it, CNN paid him money to hit for his interview because he was in the White House. He was in the he went into January 6th also, but he wasn't. Nothing happened to him and a CNN reporter that he was with. So yeah, but journalistic integrity, right?
I mean, there's so much in here, man.
But that's what I wanted to ask you before, because I know you guys only have some limited time. Your take on Renee Good, who is not even her real name. It's a made up fucking dumb name that she just gave herself.
So I've kind of dug into this one really hard. And the whole thing comes down to, does ICE have the authority to stop and talk to them, right? What if we go to the car pulling backwards and pulling out and going towards the ICE officer had complete authority to pull the trigger and do what he had to do. In the law, they say that the vehicle is used is once it starts moving forward, if an officer is standing beside it, it is considered a dangerous weapon. So that gave him full authority to protect himself. Now, we move back, right? From the first video we receive, you see the truck pulling up with their lights on, getting out and trying to open the door. Okay, why? Oh, people are like, oh, because they were blocking the road. She was blocking the road. She wasn't blocking the road. And ICE doesn't have the authority to do traffic stops. So now that would have been a traffic infraction, right? That's a traffic infraction which ICE doesn't have the authority to do. Okay, now you get into because there's multiple angles of this and multiple, times, length of videos.
Give me 1 second. I have to do dono. I'm sorry. Spuds with the dono. Obviously, the woman who accused the pastor of collaborating with ICE is now a sanctioned enforcer and prosecutor of some type. Perhaps her so-called case scared Dylan.
Mulvaney?
Boy, let me tell you something. On his 47th day of being a woman, he became Tim Walz. Sorry. And I read out to make sure that everybody's getting when they donate. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, dono. So.
Anyway, so we find out why. Why did that truck stop? Right? What gives them full authority to do this traffic infraction? Now we move back even further. There's a video that I have that's 2.5 minutes long that before the F-150 even pulls up to them, before the Suburban pulls behind their vehicle to go around, which is where the officer got out of his Suburban with his cell phone to walk around the truck or around their car and then back around the front. So now they're sitting on the side of the road. One agent went around them, got out of the vehicle. But way before that, they're all off to the right, and you can see them knocking on windows, telling people to go ahead and go. It's all over. We're leaving, right? They have arrest authority for impeding, right? Mm-hmm. And impeding can cover a multitude of things. You're talking about a human chain, physically stopping them, blocking the entrance of a driveway, blocking an access road for them to get to the call, right? Access is not to leave. Access is getting there, not leaving. So now we've got all of these people walking away, all of these ICE officers walking away, getting in their vehicles. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying ICE doesn't have the authority to arrest somebody interfering. Now we get into the argument of, because they were sitting there, the call is over, they're leaving. Now we have to determine if that cop or that ICE agent was leaving to go to another call? We don't know. So if he wasn't leaving to go to another call, he didn't have authority to stop. He could have gone around. There were other cars going around their vehicle. Local law enforcement has the authority to come and address that person for a traffic infraction, which is a vehicle stranded in the middle of a road or right in the lane impeding
but technically,
traffic.
aren't they going from person to person or house to house? So technically, her blocking the road would technically be impeding them, or say they got somebody, because I think, wasn't it they were stopped because of a truck that was caught on ice. Weren't they there because the truck got caught in the snow and was on ice, and they were trying to get it out, and she was blocking the road, and then they were on their way to something else? Because that's what I believe that was the original call. It was that they were there. The vehicle. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, KB, and appreciate that. She said the vehicle was stuck in the snow.
And this is Renee's vehicle.
No, this was HSI vehicle, a Homeland Security vehicle, was stuck in the snow. That's why there were so many there. They were trying to get it out of the snow.
So all the ICE agents come to get a freaking vehicle out of the snow.
All those ICE agents that were there were, I guess, on their way to something. Or so, I don't know. I know from what I know is there was a ICE vehicle stuck in the snow. They were trying to get the ICE vehicle out. Once they got the ICE vehicle out, that's when they were starting to go.
Which gives them no authority to even talk to this person, because they can't do traffic stops. They can't do traffic infractions. That means that even them pulling up to that car was a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Kush?
Yeah, I think I somewhat agree. Right. They can pull somebody out of the vehicle if there's a suspicion of a crime, which could be interference or obstruction. But
they can only pull a vehicle.
If you're saying
over.
that wasn't the case, they were there to get a vehicle that was stuck in the snow, then that changes it. If they were blocking them from trying to go arrest somebody or even go knock on doors, because HSI is part of ICE's mandates. They do ERO and HSI. HSI is the Homeland Security investigations. So they can, just like the FBI or ATF or your local detectives, they can knock on doors and ask people questions and investigate whatever they're investigating.
Yep,
and if you're interfering with that, that could be a crime. But if you're saying they were just there yelling at the people because they had a stuck vehicle, that changes kind of the scope of what happened quite a bit. That said, I do believe the agent was justified in the use of force.
Yep.
I think there's two separate things that a lot of people kind of missed here is, and you pointed this out, Liberty, the guy was walking around the vehicle. So the argument that he intentionally placed himself in front of the vehicle to create the danger, I don't think he did that.
No.
He was walking around the vehicle. And then when he got to the front, that's when, the woman, Renee, whatever her name is,
right,
dipshit, decided to try and take off in a panic or intentionally or whatever it was. And he did get hit. So I think he was justified. If it was me, would I have pulled the trigger if it was me? Probably not. But
can you say that she was in a panic? Because technically, when the cop was going to her, she was going in reverse, and then she put it in drive. So if you're in a panic, I would see if she would have just. I could give her the benefit of the doubt if she was in panic. If she turned her wheel all the way to the one side and by happenstance, she hit him. And she just panicked because they came up after her and whatever. But the whole situation that took place of, them getting out of the car, telling her get out. The guy had time to go around talking to the wife or go buy breakfast or whatever. And then the wife yelling, go, go, go. It kind of, doesn't.
The wife was actually trying to get into the vehicle.
She was.
When she took off. So I think she probably freaked out because the other agents then come over and start rushing her. So I think there's two sets of things. There's the guy who's going around the vehicle. Then there's the other agents that rush in. And I think that's what sparked her panic. Reversing, the wheel turning, all of that. I don't think that's a good argument for the use of force because that guy can't determine, oh, the wheels are turned this way. Like we all have, the benefit of that out of rewatching this 100 times in our mom's basement.
And he only had that one time.
Yeah. And he had a fraction of a second. You're not going to be, oh, well, she's turning the wheel. So I guess, you can't really say that.
At that point in time where she's backing up and then going forward, like you really can't, you really don't have time to think. That's a problem is everybody thinks that you can sit there and you're fucking Silver Surfer and you could stop time and just let fucking and just go, oh, I don't think she's gonna
Max
hit me.
Payne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, was she backing up to create space to flee? But from the officer's perspective, is she backing up to get more runway to run your ass over at a higher speed? So you don't know. I hate that argument. I can see an argument being made that she panicked and she was trying to get out of there. She didn't have the intent to do it, but the intent doesn't negate negligence.
Correct.
So you can't just...
From his angle, you can actually look directly at her and she sees him.
Yeah.
She sees that he's standing in front of her.
Yeah, and what's her so afraid of? Like, okay, they arrest you, take you down to the station or whatever. You're released in a few hours on bond.
What is Benson V?
And then you have a $300 ticket? Oh no, these people are acting like they're taking you to the gulag to torture you.
But that's
it's insane.
But that's exactly the way they're acting. I just wanted to get to this comment real quick by Spuds. He says, My point is that even though it's not true, going against a crazy person could lead to a George Floyd conflict and was told to avoid it. Lemon benefited from Harmeet's dismiss. He did. And he will. He will benefit greatly from that because he's going to do it again and again and again, and they're not going to do. It says also, Good and her wife had the premeditated intent to harass the ICE agents. Now, what? And then Neuro said the wheel direction doesn't matter. He couldn't see them from his vantage point. Yeah, that's what I was saying too. But there's nothing with premeditation with federal ICE agents. Like, your people are doing this on purpose. We know that there's a network of people who are doing this. They have Zoom calls. They have meetings and setups and everything like this. And there's nothing that can be done about that.
Sorry,
I think the context matters because you do still have like a First Amendment right to protest and to organize, and having Zoom calls is part of that organization. But at what point does your protest become illegal? I think you played the video last time I was on here of that one guy that looked like maybe I wasn't on here, but the guy that played the Fly,
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, the guy that looked like Jeff Goldblum, and he told you, hey, when they say we're going to arrest you, you put your hands behind your back and all of that. So he was like, there's the line, and at what point do you cross that line? I think then if you cross the line, then maybe you can reach into that premeditation and stuff like that. It depends on what's discussed in the Discords and on the Zoom calls and what's actually being advocated for. I've worked in politics. I've been part of activist groups and stuff. And the ones I've been a part of, they're very, very clear. The leadership's very clear. Like, these are the laws. Do not cross the line here. We will basically not say we will not back you up if you cross those lines, kind of things.
That's a reasonable fucking activist group that's doing reasonable protests. But a lot of these activist groups, like there's one out of New York that teaches people how to freaking protest, and it's very, very far left. So, and they actually they provide material and all this other stuff for the protest, and.
These people are Bolsheviks. They would line you up and shoot you in the back of the head if they could.
And they've said it.
Yeah,
and they've said it.
Their intent is
online.
Revolution, Che Guevara style revolution. They want to accelerate the collapse of the government so they can rebuild their radical left version of whatever they want. And they openly espoused it. They did during George Floyd. They did during night one of the George Floyd protests.
Yeah, and they continue to do it now. Who knew Minnesota was a fucking hotbed of all this activity? Who knew the Civil War 3.0 was going to start at fucking Minnesota?
Me, because I'm in the neighboring state, and Minnesota's terrible.
Are you in one of the Dakotas or in Michigan?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh. Wow.
Benton v. Felix was a cop who made a traffic stop. Man went to flee. Cop jumped on the car and shot. Felix was the cop and found to be within reasonable force.
I was quite literally reading the Supreme Court's freaking ruling on it and trying to find out what happened. And there's a bit more legalese than just being able to fucking just skim through it and find out what was happening.
Don't let a good crisis go to waste. Yeah, no. Now they're murdering white bitches. now this is now, it went from, 2026 is going to be the year of white bitches getting murked, apparently, because it's just it's insane. They're just anytime you do something like what I don't understand is why the Minnesota cops aren't stepping in and doing anything about it. Nero says protection of himself and others. The other agent had his arm in the window. The wife's hand was on the door handle. Plus, we know he is in danger of being hit. He was actually hit by the car.
Yeah, he was definitely in danger because he got hit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just an unfortunate thing all around,
I agree. The whole scenario, there's multiple ways that it could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Right? I stand on the fact that we have the right to protest.
She didn't wake up that morning.
Right. We have the right to protest, but it has to be within the bounds of the law. I agree with that. But if they wouldn't have been there, it wouldn't have happened. Does ICE have authority to be there? They were there. They had authority. But do they have the authority to stop? I don't know. I think there's more to the story. We have to have all situations. But whenever we get to the nitty gritty, I think it was just a shitstorm of fucking a couple different things that happened, and it's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah,
but somebody has to be held accountable.
What happens when you put yourself in those situations, right? And that was the argument used against Rittenhouse was, well, you shouldn't have even been there, Kyle. But no, he should have had the right to be there. Renee should have had the right to be there.
Correct.
But how you handle yourself once you're there, and understanding that once you're there, these things can happen. Like, you need to be aware of it. And like you said, it's one or two bad choices or things going wrong that leads to
California just had a big earthquake.
Yay.
Holy shit.
Did they break off? Jen? Did they break off?
You're right.
Yeah, actually, not all that surprising to me. We've been having these crazy solar flare blasts on the last
there was
couple
one
days.
Last night. It was
last night. There were a couple last night, and I think one of them was the biggest since 2003. There's a lot of people that think that that's connected to earthquake activity, and it seems to align quite a bit. What was? Does it say the Richter scale?
I'm looking right now.
Jennifer just said.
Or is she reporting this live?
She's reporting this live, side to side shaking. She's in California.
Yeah, it's quite literally not even in the news yet.
Yes, they don't.
5.1.
5.1. Oh, January 19th at 7:56. Yep, 12 miles from Indio, California.
Have y'all ever experienced an earthquake?
No.
It is one of the most unsettling things to experience. Yes. I was down in Colombia, South America, and experienced a few that were around the 5-ish mark, and the whole building was shaking, and just the earth is making noises, and the building makes noises that it shouldn't be making, and it's very more unsettling than you would think it would be.
You mean you didn't get in the doorway?
I was sitting there wondering what the fuck was going on, looking at everything in my closet sway back and forth.
Jennifer says she's in Joshua Tree, very close.
Well, stay safe, Jennifer.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've seen the ground roll. What?
That's like a
California's invested by aliens. That's it. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going with. California
Invaded by aliens.
Invaded by aliens.
Well, that's obvious. That's been happening for years.
Well, I mean, they won't let us. Listen, you can't get a step into Area 51. I think, you know what I think Area 51? I think Area 51 is a, what's that big festival?
Wrong joke, Dave.
Huh?
Wrong joke.
What?
Illegal aliens.
Oh. Well, you know.
Simple Davey.
Simple Davey. No, I think, you know what I think? I think Area 51, what's that big plate thing that they have in California with all the hippies go out and they Burning Man. I think fucking Area 51 is just Burning Man for federal employees. I really do. I think that's why they don't want anybody in there. It's their fucking own little playground where they do all they just come up with all this shit. That's why it's Area 51. They go, hey, who do we want to burn down this week? Let's go with Minnesota. Sounds good to me. Let's burn down Minnesota. Let's go shoot a white woman and then just make everybody say that everybody's racist. I think that's what Area 51 really is.
All of the, I guess, most recent technology, that stuff's all been moved to other areas. So, I think, Utah, some of those areas.
I think some of this is a fucking... I think the Renee thing is going to be the distraction of the fucking fraud, waste, and abuse that's going on in Oregon, California, Maine, Minnesota, right? There's so much fucking fraud that the government is involved in. They're complicit. Those state governments are complicit in that are just people are forgetting about because we're talking about a fucking riot about to happen in Minnesota.
Well, listen, I'm kind of glad because let them fucking do it. Let them just get rid of every single one of them. Quietly. If you're going to have Minnesota blow up the way everybody thinks it's going to blow up, and then just quietly just take these fraudsters and just vamoose them, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to interpret the distraction. I don't think...
Listen, a boy can dream,
which
okay?
would be great, you know. I mean,
boy...
that is why, ICE is going door to door. They're doing the HSI investigations into fraud.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they make a big kaboom over there, and then they go, "Here's this trick right here I'm doing with my hand. Don't pay attention to the hand that's going behind the back and throwing these people the fuck out of here."
So even with the throwing the people the fuck out, right? I knew Trump said that this was going to happen before he even got in office. And I voted for him, but this was my concern. If they're just going to give free will, willy-nilly fucking just grab somebody and tell me, are you illegal or not? There's going to be so many people that their fucking Fourth Amendment is going to be violated, and it scares the shit out of me. I don't like people having their fucking rights violated, whether I agree with their political views or not. And just grabbing somebody and throwing them out of here. If you go down fucking Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, along the Mexican border, there's so many illegal immigrants there that look just like their fucking legal citizen cousin.
Yeah.
And just because this reasonable articulable suspicion is not enough to say they're brown.
Yeah, I mean... Kevin says they aren't grabbing randos. I think she's right. They're not. I don't think they're grabbing random people. I think
yet.
Yeah.
Well, there are some one-offs. So I think those situations should be viewed with concern, like Liberty's saying. Is it happening, across the board? No, but
I'm not saying it is.
Even if it's 0.01%, that's still 0.01% that should have happened. Right?
And I'm not saying that it's happening like crazy, but one person shouldn't have their constitutional right fucking violated.
Yeah, if you're a liberty absolutist here, then one person is too many.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's... nothing's 100% though. You know
No,
what I mean?
there's going to be mistakes that are made. Yeah.
Like, they're gonna, but it just also, once again, it shows how fucked up our immigration system is, and you're trying to correct two things at one time right now, and it's not going as well as it was planned to go, and unfortunately, there are going to be some collateral damage, but not like death of collateral damage.
Right.
You might get sent out for a little while, spend a couple months, hopefully not a couple years in a country that you've never been to or seen before.
Well, technically, you should be able to pull out your driver's license and they run it and go, "Oh, legal citizen."
But once again, I think the majority, and I think of 100% of people who pull out their driver's license or something like that goes, "Here it goes," and that's it. I think the problem we're running into right now is that the people who are being who are just kind of, the videos of, "Are you an American citizen?" I don't have to answer that. "Are you an American citizen?" I don't have to answer that. "Are you an American citizen?" I don't, for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think those are the people that are the problems. If you just give up their license and go, "Hey, American citizen, here's my license." I don't know. Yeah, I get it, but there's
because that goes into like stop and frisk and producing papers and stuff like that. So
I'm not saying so once again, I'm not saying that it just randomly like going and checking cars or people like that. But I mean, like, if there's an order for you to be deported and you have your shit, because aren't these people are supposed to technically carry their stuff around wherever they go, not American citizens.
Now you're absolutely right. If you're here as an immigrant, a legal immigrant, and you have overstayed your visa, okay, they're obviously not going to identify. But if you're here on a visa, you're actually required. You lose. You don't have the Fourth Amendment. If they walk up to you and go, "Hey, what's your name?" You have to identify.
Okay. Yeah, and don't you think that the people?
Yeah. So this is like a procedural thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like ICE needs to. I mean, I'm not sure how it actually works, but how I would presume it should work is that they have a list of people. They have identified them prior to trying to go make a stop and an arrest for deportation. Okay. So they have a reasonable suspicion of the person. It's not just we're stopping every brown person, right? And so Liberty's a veteran, I'm a veteran. When we were overseas, right, we had something called rules of engagement, or the ROE. Yep. And if you violated the ROE, you were getting court-martialed. You're getting sent to Leavenworth for 30 years, and we didn't say, well, we're going to stop prosecuting this war because one person fucked up.
Oh, I agree with you.
So
I agree.
But the agents that do mess up, they should be held accountable for violating people's rights if that's what they've truly done.
Correct. And I agree with that. Now we have to get into, there's so many of them that believe that that's completely legal. That I'm doing an investigation, and during an investigation, you have to, wait, hang on. That just because you're throwing words around that don't involve this does not mean that you have this authority. But no, I'm concerned. I'm not seeing it happening a lot, but I was still concerned. I'm still concerned that it's going to happen more than it should. And do I know the right procedure to be able to guarantee that who they're looking at or finding is an illegal? I don't know that procedure. I do want illegal immigrants out of here. I want probably more than just some illegal immigrants. There's a certain certain set of people that I want gone. But
absolutely. And I think these people need better training. The procedures need to be fleshed out a little bit better, so we can still accomplish the goal of getting rid of all of the people that shouldn't be here, but still also protecting people's rights.
Correct.
And I think both sides here are kind of making, not on this panel, but in general, are kind of skipping that thought process, and say, well, they're violating people's rights, so it shouldn't happen at all, and it's just two extremes instead of like the reasonable middle ground that exists everywhere else within the government.
Adam says, as a man that likes to be entertained, I guess I'll see you what's on the show tomorrow. Good night, Adam. Sorry we couldn't entertain you tonight. I was just I asked these gentlemen for a last second to help me out, and that's how you repay them. Appreciate it, Adam. Thank you very much, Crispin. Adam looks like Crispin Glover. He was on what is the Night Court, whatever the real show that was, that people went and were suing people. Judge Judy. He was
Judge
like on a
Judy?
Judge Judy show, yeah. And he sued his roommate. We watched him. He looks like Crispin Glover, the guy from Marty McFly's dad in Back to the Future. Yeah.
But it's and I hold this to also the
KB says this is a great show.
The Renee Good thing, right? I don't agree with what Renee is doing or what she was doing. Now she's not doing anything. She's fucking bug food now. But I don't agree with their movement, their argument, their whatever, but I agree with her ability to protest, and I also don't want the government to step over and violate somebody's rights just because they want to.
Yeah, it's a fine line on both sides.
Yeah.
Jennifer O'Connell says, so you have to prove your age to be in a bar with an ID, but you don't have to prove your citizenship to be in the country.
A bar is a private business, and the Fourth Amendment is a rule that is put down limiting what the government can do to us. And a private business can demand. Really, the ATF says that they're required to ask. So I think I see your argument.
I think it comes down to reasonable suspicion. If I know Davey, like I have a photo of you and I know that you've overstayed your visa and you shouldn't be here, and we send law enforcement to come get you, yeah, you should. Then that person should have to produce the ID. But if I don't, then I can't just come up to you and say, well, prove it, bro. Prove you like that's insane.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, and I see
Which
a photo.
is a fine line of procedure.
Sure. A photo would be good, but I feel like if I called and was like, hey, I know that there's 5 illegal immigrants over here, and then they go kick in somebody's door to get 5 illegal immigrants and there's no illegal immigrant in there, then it's a fucking red flag, red flag laws, and red flag laws are fucking awful.
Or gay.
So if you're taking the word off of somebody else, now to investigate, if I go, hey, there's 5 illegals over here, and then they come over and they sit on a public street and they videotape or take pictures, and they can verify that there's 5 brown people going in there, and then they go and watch them some more and then find out that they're getting paid in cash, and you put somebody that works, you put an undercover at this job, and then he's sitting there and you hear all of them speaking and they're talking about being illegal. Now you have got reasonable articulable suspicion. I'm like, there is a procedure. I just don't, it's like willy-nilly. Are they catching some good ones off of tips? Sure. Right? Confidential informants are a real thing. But a confidential informant, if they give false information, they can actually be held up to the law as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's 30 million illegals here, or potentially more. So
potentially more.
It shouldn't be any difficulty like identifying who they are and minimizing the issue.
Yeah. Hey, this has been awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut to Rumble, and see where that leads. But Liberty, let us know where you are.
Yeah. So if you like what I'm having to say, come check me out at the Life Liberty Show. I'm on Rumble. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube, Kick, Twitch. Let's see. I'm on iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Spotify, The Life Liberty Show, or to make it easier, just go to thelifelibertyshow.com.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on, Kush.
I'm going to stick around. If that's
Okay,
fine
cool.
with you.
Sweet. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Liberty.
You as well, Kush.
Yeah. So you got 3 minutes, and we will be, if I can find the stupid thing, back.
So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history. You're changing culture. And you had people, and I'm not talking